Hey everybody, welcome back to the Age Gap Podcast. We are the Latchkey Kids, where
the more things change,
the more they stay the same,
baby.
Hey Luke, we got a tremendous show today. Tell us who's on the show and what are we talking about?
All right, today we got our good friend Max Castillo, artist extraordinaire. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's a singer, rapper. You make your own beats?
I do, but I use pre-made loops, so it's kind of like cooking with Blue Apron.
He's a producer, you know what I mean? He's a one-man wheelhouse. Give it up today for Max Castillo, everybody.
Hey,
One of our own.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no, it's great,
It was
man.
fun. It was like morning radio show vibes. I love it.
Yeah, that's kind of what we go
I love
for.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, nailed it.
Yeah.
Lou, what are we
Stop
talking
giving out the secret, bro.
My bad, dude.
Lou, what are we talking about today?
Today our topic is space.
The final frontier.
That was good, dude. See, my man's a producer, bro.
Yeah. Real. So space, now, obviously without no pun intended, it's a broad subject.
Yep. What kind of broad?
Pretty dark subject too, guys.
Hey, all the broads love space, you know?
NASA in the 40s. Hey, we gotta get these broads on the moon, huh?
My girl, she said she needed a little space.
Hey, you know that moon, he's gonna be a problem.
All right, before we jump to that, I want to open it up. When you were a little kid and you started, you're in science class and everything like that, what was your first impression? Like, coolest thing in the world? Boring? Where were you? Where'd you land?
I thought it was like, I didn't realize when I was like real young and they first busted out the solar system in like first grade, I didn't know, and maybe it's because I went to like a Christian Baptist private school at the time. I didn't know there was anything past the solar system.
They're like, God made all of this and that's it.
Yeah, they were like,
Stop
here's the
asking
solar
questions.
system. And but like on the little diagram, there was no other stars. So I was just like, cool, this is what we're working with. Awesome. And then when I got to like public school in like 5th grade, they were like, the universe. I was like, oh my, there's so much more out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I always thought space was like the coolest shit. I'm more of the sci-fi fantasy kind of guy.
All right, explain.
So I always loved the possibility of aliens and just the knowing more. There's like infinity. I've always, even since a kid, I've been like enamored by the concept of infinity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It just keeps going.
See, I took the reverse. I was always scared of space.
Okay.
The fact of like the getting abandoned and the maroon, because I'm gonna jump ahead. I grew up in the 80s, as you know. We had the Charger incident. Now, if you don't know what the Charger incident was, it was every kid's nightmare.
You mean the Challenger?
Challenge. Sorry.
The Charger's the
My
two-door.
friend's dad's car.
Yeah, the Charger's the two-door version
Yeah,
of the
unfortunately,
Challenger.
a Hellcat blew up on the launching pad. And
The Dodge Durango incident. It was
That actually
nuts.
just saved that story. by me mislabeling it. The Challenger with Krista McAuliffe, who was a teacher from Massachusetts. She was born in New Hampshire. She lived in
No way, she was from
Yeah.
Massachusetts?
Every teacher in Massachusetts, especially women, were like, "This is our This is our.
That's
hero."
your Michael Phelps.
Yeah, exactly. Good analogy.
Your Yao Ming.
So they would wheel. Remember the? Oh, maybe you don't. But the TV that got
with the
wheel-
strap on top of
Yeah,
it. Of course, bro.
yeah. And it was like something good's gonna happen. Like when they brought that baby in, it's like damn. So we were all
the
like
ratchet straps, the TV with the ratchet straps.
Yeah. The whole week we're getting hyped, right?
Man.
They bring the TV. I think I was in first grade. I was in first grade. And then it's like we did the countdown as kids. 10, 9.
That is hilarious.
What a cute image.
Yeah.
You can imagine just
Classroom of kids.
36-year-olds,
From Boston.
praying and all, like
4, 3,
2,
1.
dude. And then the
One dude.
and then the inevitable happens. Like, what was it, 20 seconds into the launch or something like that? It's just like, oh, is this part of the show? Like, what is this?
So that shit just blew up on live TV in front of a bunch of kids, huh?
Yeah.
And I was pretty much done with space after that.
That makes
I was
sense.
like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't need to do this.
It's like meeting your first dog and it bites you.
yeah,
You know?
that's good enough. You're on it today, Lou.
He's
Yeah.
killing it.
I
I
love
got
this thing.
analogies for days.
You know,
But yeah, no, that's crazy. I love space. I always was a space guy.
I do too. I mean, Star Wars made
That's
space
what
seem
did it
super
for
cool.
me too. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
But
was-
we had the what was it called? The prequels.
Menace?
The
Yeah,
prequels,
yeah.
And the Clone Wars, the cartoon show was sick. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars made space super cool because even before I saw the scary space movies like Alien in 2001 and stuff, Star Wars, I was like, whoa, like space is just where a bunch of cool stuff happens.
Yeah,
You can
right.
move stuff with your mind.
Let me tell you something about Star Wars because you guys are a little bit past mine. It was insane.
I bet.
The toy stores, the toys, all that stuff, the Ewoks, the Wookiee, you know, it really was like that stuff was cool because you knew it was fantasy.
Mm.
The reality of like the Challenger and stuff, that was a little too spooky.
It was too
Yeah.
real for you.
But we had like Buck Rogers, which was awesome.
Mhm.
Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
Galactica.
That
Yeah.
was crazy, you know.
Dude, yeah.
And
Those
of
was
course,
up.
Star Trek.
Yep. Trek. Never got into Trek.
Me neither.
That's like a.
I feel like it was like our generation kind of missed it.
Hold on, you never
Yeah.
watched the early ones or you never watched Next Gen?
Any
Either.
of them.
Oh,
Really,
wow.
any of them.
But
I
I
watched
think-
the 2009 J.J. Abrams movie. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Oh, those movies, the later ones, yeah, they were cool.
Yeah.
Nah,
I
Trek
think
was cool.
because it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, I kind of just didn't fuck with it.
You just skipped over it. Just
Yeah.
like,
Because the Sci-Fi
automotive.
Channel was like giant spiders
Yeah.
and fucking like
Yeah.
B-list actors, C-list actors that are just like trying to get
I
back.
was on the Sci-Fi Channel. What are you trying to
Hey,
say?
dude, that's good for you. But I'm saying as a kid, I'm just like,
B-list
nah.
actors. Oh, I know this guy.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy's sick.
Randomly, I remember
I was on Atomic.
they
Dog.
had ECW wrestling on the Sci-Fi Network at one point, and so that was what I watched Sci-Fi for, was to watch like Sabu get his face beat in with a chair wrapped in barbed wire.
That's kind of
So that was pretty sick. But I didn't. Yeah, I was never really on the Sci-Fi Network growing up.
Yeah, I was on Atomic Dog. But anyway, skipping.
Shit, hey man,
Skipping
humble
forward.
brag over here,
Damn.
dude.
Swag.
Skipping forward. So yeah, we're talking about TV shows. Sci-fi NASA space TV show that you grew up with.
TV show. I mentioned Star Wars Clone Wars. That one was sick. They did like a Sci-Fi did like a really low, not like low budget, but compared to the one that just came out, they did like kind of a shitty Dune miniseries in like 2000. And I think that was the first Sci-Fi thing that I remember being like, whoa, this is cool. My older brother, he's 4 years older than me, and he was like a voracious reader growing up. He read all the Dune books when he was in like 6th grade. I didn't read the first Dune book till I was in college, and I was like, why was he reading this in 6th grade? He makes so much sense. Like, he's so dark and brooding, you know? But yeah, the Dune miniseries was probably my favorite one. And then I think later on in life, I got into like Farscape, which was a gem of a show from the late 90s, early 2000s, very sci-fi. It's very niche. The way you guys reacted completely silently tells me that you didn't really watch it either.
I thought it was a video game. I thought you were talking about a video game.
No. Video games, I played Dead Space, which was really cool. I liked that
Oh,
one a
yeah.
lot. It
That
was
that
so
one's
scary.
Pretty scary, huh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so. It's like you get a call. It's like, we need you to investigate.
Oh my god! I just
This
thought-
spaceship is abandoned, and you go, and obviously there's just horrible monsters that have killed everyone.
Oh, Doom.
Oh, Doom! Like
Dude,
Oh,
they're on
Doom,
fucking Mars or some
yeah,
shit, right? They're like
yeah.
on another planet. And,
You just
and
blasting people with that shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, run around.
the
Oh,
boomstick, dude.
love that.
And then they made the movie with The Rock.
The
I
Rock,
think.
yeah, dude.
I heard
Rock
that was
was-
horrible though.
It, dude. From when I was 7, it was cinema.
Yeah, dude.
That
I
was
saw
the
it.
shit. When
Oh,
I was.
I mean, it's a
kid.
good time
Yeah.
if you're just like want to see aliens get blown up. It's pretty sick.
If you want to pull this thread on video games, when I was in college, I had a roommate who had the computer, which was rare
Man,
at the time. It was the big boxy, you know.
Also, do you want to lower your mic a little bit so it gets
Yeah.
out of your? No, I mean it's just like kind of.
Oh yeah, there. So
Boom.
is that good?
Perfect.
Nice.
the game.
Want to see that pretty mug of
Yeah,
yours, man?
yeah.
But you had a friend who had a
Computer, big
computer
box
and
of
you had the
roommate.
game.
He was a roommate.
Okay.
And we had the speakers and all that stuff. Well, he had it, and it was spacecraft. It was like the
Oh.
Warcraft.
Oh, StarCraft.
Okay,
Yeah, I used to play
so-
StarCraft.
I didn't know.
StarCraft rocked.
But I'd come in, and he had the speakers going like full tune, and it's like, Commander,
Yeah.
orders.
Yeah.
attack. You know, it's like, I would just shut it off. I was like, shut up. And he never protested. He just like, yeah, okay, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. This is nerd shit.
Yeah,
It's okay.
StarCraft was awesome. I used to always play as the Protoss, who were like the advanced aliens, and they'd be like, Commander. You know, like their voices were crazy. I never played as the Zerg. If you like the Zerg, it was like, oh, bro, you can't sit at the lunch table. That's such a weird thing to be into. Their sound clips, instead of words, it would just like, and you're like, oh, God. Like, StarCraft
That's
was crazy.
Hilarious.
It was so annoying.
I feel like
Yeah.
I missed
Order.
this whole
Oh, it's terrible.
genre, this whole era. I got introduced to, like, I wasn't allowed to really, like, I didn't have an Xbox. I didn't have any of that shit. I had the PlayStation, but Halo.
Yeah, Halo was huge.
Halo was,
Oh, come on now. Yeah.
dude, that is the shit, man. That was like countless hours,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
On Blood Gulch.
Mhm.
Shout out to my man. He knows who he is back in Brooklyn. Halo, Guinness beers, any afternoon we were off, and it was just because you could do two player, right?
Yep,
Two
that was
player
the
career
shit.
mode, right?
Oh, he'd drive the vehicle and I'm blasting.
Yeah.
Man. It was cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god,
America.
The next thing you know, it's like The next thing you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night. You know, you
Yeah.
started you're like a little buzzed, and gosh, good way to waste time. I love
Yeah,
video
bro.
games.
Honestly, that was a time. I think everyone kind of got hit by that wave, the Halo wave.
Oh yeah, dude. It was everything.
Even in movies for like a good 10 years, anytime they had like a movie where there was like a drug dealer, he's in the living room with
Yeah,
like a
playing
bunch of
Halo.
chicks just playing Halo.
Yeah.
You know?
Doing lines of coke.
Die, motherfucker, die.
Why is it with the video games degeneracy coincides with video games? It's
Because like when you're playing, bro, you're obviously not bettering yourself. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
You're just sitting there. You're like your lowest self.
Yeah,
But
but
you-
you become someone else.
Yeah,
Like, who am I?
exactly.
I saw a video one time on YouTube where it was like senior citizens play Grand Theft Auto, and within 5 minutes they were just like running people over. And shit. 5 minutes, and they were like, "This is so fun," and it was like, I was like, "Yeah, it immediately corrupts you.
It's just your lowest self.
It's
dude.
like the One Ring. It just corrupts
it's
you."
hilarious. Video games, we'll revisit this. We'll do another episode. But video games bring out the worst of humanity.
100%.
Did you guys remember the Nintendo Wii?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
of course.
When Mario Kart came out, it was a phenom.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. And you could play online and you could play internationally. So you'd be playing someone from China, Africa.
Just getting called the N-word by
Just
Luigi.
The most racist stuff would come out of you. You damn Frenchman, I'm
Yeah.
going to shell you, you know.
Fucking a Koopa Troopa just called me the F word, bro. I don't even.
Every time you hopped in a Call of Duty lobby, you learned like 3 new slurs. I
Yeah,
didn't even know that was a
facts.
thing. Okay.
Find out what your mom's been doing sexually.
Yeah.
You're calling the Italian.
It's like, all right, cool.
It just
You're
brings-
banging my mom too.
It's just hilarious because I was a little bit older. I was like innocent at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's people from France, Italy. 2 seconds into the game,
Yeah.
you're the most racist person on the planet.
You know
Oh, yeah.
what was the most depressing game online? We'll get back to space eventually.
Yeah.
But you know what was the most depressing game online was any of the racing games like Forza
Mhm.
or what was the other Gran Turismo? It's
never-
always just some Russian dude smoking a cigarette, like just smoking everyone, bro. He's always like in first place, like lapping people. Just like,
You are not good
I
at this
play on
game.
the hardest level too. I have manual transmission on right now.
I have lymphoma and I also fuck your mother.
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
Exactly, dude. And then you just hear like
Yeah.
playing like on the mic.
He's got like the actual setup with like the wheel and shit.
It's got a fucking Alpine stereo
He's
system.
literally switching
Yeah.
gears.
Yeah, bro. Those guys went fucking hard. That was
That's
the worst.
hilarious. Okay, back to space. And Max, I'll let you take it. What was the science fair project or the space project you did as a student?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I didn't really do any on space. We had to do science, which is so funny because science fair is one of those things that you should just be allowed to do it if you want to do it. I feel like every year there was like 3 kids that were like science fair, and everyone else was like, I'm doing this to make my C and get out of here. But I didn't really do like a space one.
Okay.
I kind of kept it close to the vest. I did one time do a science fair project where I was like, will the size of a skateboard wheel impact how fast it goes down the ramp? And turns out, yeah, the larger the wheel, it does. So maybe I did learn something. But
That's what's up.
sorry to disappoint. No space projects. I didn't
No,
really do any.
the science fair was clever. Like if you could like take on a subject that the teacher knew nothing about, then you could trick them.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, whatever.
Every time I did science fair or history fair, you'd always get to the thing to present, and it's like clearly written in the rules. It's like no help from parents, and then you'd have this kid with like a wooden carved board
Yeah.
with hinges, and like everything's perfectly cut and printed. I'm like, bro, there's no way you in third grade put together this 8-foot tall. Like clearly your parents helped you.
Mhm.
No help
Nepo
from
babies, bro.
parents.
I did. I failed my science fair experiment.
Nice.
Yeah, and then my teacher, I fucking hated him the whole year. He was a weirdo. You know what I mean? Fucking weirdo. But I finally had a little respect for him when my science experiment failed, and he goes, "Well, that's science. Sometimes it doesn't work." And I was like,
Nice.
That's super cool of him.
"All right, cool."
Hell
My
yeah.
thesis, my hypothesis was proven
Right.
wrong. You know?
So I don't get an F. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
all right,
that's
cool.
nice.
Thanks.
And you use that later, you get caught like cheating. You're like, my hypothesis was I could get away with the cheating.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you were failed. And also
Sometimes it doesn't
expelled.
work. You know?
we did the. Did you ever do paper mache?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the.
The solar system.
Yeah, the paper mache solar
Oh,
system.
dude, you had a really dope. We were talking about this yesterday or someday, getting like ideas for the episode. You had a really dope like acronym or something like that. for
Oh,
the
my
solar
very
system?
eager mother just sent us 9
9
pizzas.
pizzas.
You fucking
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
No way.
Now it's just 9. 9 what? Because they took
Yeah.
Pluto's ass out of there. But
We
yeah,
got-
that was the one we were taught too.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had you said it. It blew my mind. I was like, that's got to be some fucking.
We're from the
back
East
in the
Coast.
day
We're
shit.
more intelligent.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That
Well,
makes
I mean,
sense.
he's clearly older than me, so they were probably teaching
Thank you.
in Florida. They were like, all right, well, we just got this from Boston. Apparently,
a couple
they
days
don't
ago.
even do it no more, but it's new down here. So,
That's hilarious, man.
And
I
40
never-
years later, I still remember it.
I do too.
I never. And is that like the order of the planets?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mars, Venus, Earth,
Mercury.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Oh,
Jupiter, Saturn,
that's why
Uranus,
I was
Pluto.
confused. So it's Mercury,
Neptune, Pluto.
Venus, Mars.
Oh, I said Mars.
yeah,
Okay, I got
very
it
eager
twisted.
mother. Yeah. Okay.
And now
Yeah.
P is gone. The
P is
pizza's
gone.
gone.
Just 9 what?
There's not even 9. It's
9.
8.
She bought us some 9s.
Can I ask you a question? Maybe you guys.
some 9 millimeters.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
America, baby.
Why was Pluto dismissed? What did they think? It was a moon or something?
It's
or
not
just,
big enough.
It's just
Yeah.
not big enough?
They called it a dwarf planet.
Which is very disrespectful. Let me
very-
just
yeah,
say.
honestly,
What the fuck was that all
It's
about?
the midget planet.
Yeah, bro.
it's so mean.
In an era of inclusion, they just exclude Pluto like that
That's messed
because
up.
he's a midget.
And nobody
Messed
went to
up.
fight for Pluto. There was no riot. There was no protest. There was no like that.
Yeah, we were just like, all right.
All
I
I mean,
very-
it's
it's not a
2007.
planet,
Like, I'm
bro.
chilling.
How
Yeah.
very un-American of us.
Yeah, for real. I bet if there was oil on fucking Pluto, it'd still be a planet.
Be out there.
It's the best planet, actually. It's the most important planet. We got to get there right now.
Yeah.
Actually, on topic of that, remember the big controversy or the big discussion a couple years ago was the flat Earth.
That's still, yeah.
I
That's
don't
still
know
a
where
thing.
that came
Is-
from, bro.
What are the origin stories?
I feel like Big Conspiracy let that one like leaked it just to see if like who would go
would
with
bite
it.
on that?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Let's see how far we've got these guys.
it went pretty. It made a pretty good run.
It's, I mean, I feel like it's still out there. But yeah, it was.
It-
The craziest moment was to me when B.O.B., the rapper from like Airplanes and stuff, came out as a flat earther. And then Neil De Grasse Tyson was like, B.O.B., you're wrong about this. And then B.O.B. made a diss track on Neil
About
deGrasse
Neil deGrasse
Tyson.
Tyson? That's
Nice.
hilarious.
Yes. I was like, damn, he stands on business though, I guess.
That's
That's
hilarious.
crazy.
That's
I got a question.
another reference,
Yeah,
you know?
speaking of which, I got a question. Let's divide our audience real quick. Are you a Bill Nye guy or a Neil deGrasse Tyson guy?
Oh, that's
I know who
the
I am.
hardest question I've ever been asked. I guess I'll say Bill Nye because I saw him at a baseball game one time.
Really?
But I feel like they both do great work.
I see, and for me, it's the opposite. I go Neil deGrasse Tyson
Mhm.
because I did meet Bill Nye one time, and he was kind of a dick.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he strikes me
Interesting.
because he started. First of all, he's an electrical engineer. He's not even like a scientist.
Not even a real scientist, just an electrical
Well, he's not a scientist.
engineer.
He's a science guy.
No,
Yeah,
you
oh,
got-
that's true. He never
difference.
claimed to be a
He's a
scientist.
science guy.
He is just a science guy. Yeah.
But he started as a comedian,
Really?
like a local cable. Like, remember we talked about cable access TV?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I had a show. Remember? You know?
Yeah.
That's how he started, and he created that character. The whole thing's a character, and then some kid show picked him up.
Well, because I
And that's
remember
how he got his.
It's like educational Larry the Cable Guy, basically.
Yeah.
basically,
smart.
yeah.
Bill Nye the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
His TV show. When I was a kid-
you're doing an experiment, you just gotta get her done. The thing I don't like about Neil De Grasse Tyson is he always puts out these tweets sometimes that's like, everybody's like, Happy New Year. And he's like, just so you know, there's nothing significant about this date. Nothing is important. I'm like, dude, bro, we're just hanging out, Neil.
Yeah.
Stop being a bummer.
Yeah. Go get the next round of drinks, you fucking.
How about you
nerd.
go get some bitches, Neil De
Yeah,
Grasse Tyson?
facts. That I will give Bill Nye that credit. He gets bitches.
True.
Bill Nye gets bitches.
I mean,
He's got Riz,
he,
bro.
he pretends that he doesn't, but he does.
See, I'm not Bill Nye. I'm not Neil. I'm that Japanese guy with the white hair.
Oh, yes, with the glasses.
Yeah.
dude, that guy's
What?
sick.
Which guy?
He pops up on the History Channel
Yeah.
from time to
Okay.
You know, yeah. He seems like the more like less performance based, more like
Yeah.
Or what about old school dude, Carl Sagan? I think
Carl Sagan is cool, yeah.
he
Oh,
did
yeah.
Cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to take it back to Mr. Wizard, bro?
Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard.
Who's that?
I've seen some clips on YouTube. Of Mr. Wizard.
Nickelodeon dude, Mr. Wizard, bro.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's
And you
crazy.
get like uptight with the kids and start yelling at them and stuff.
Hey,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up!
Do
I'm
the
trying to
science.
teach you about space.
I'm doing science. They're like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm 4 years old. This is hydrochloric acid.
He's like
Don't be afraid of it.
He's like smacking kids in the head. Ugh, this sucks.
Dumb question. Next.
I used to love the science shows too. They're so funny. And then they're like, "Don't try this at home." What do you think every kid did
Yeah,
after watching
exactly.
the show? You know,
Mythbusters was
Exactly.
also sick. That was like my probably favorite science-based TV show.
All right.
'Cause that was the first time they just gave dudes a budget to be like, does a can of Coke dissolve a tooth? And I'm like, yep, let's spend millions to figure it out, baby.
That's-
How many gallons of Coke will it take to
Yeah.
dissolve this?
honestly, you don't even need that show. You could just take a trip to like Mississippi and just be like, "Can you open your mouth?" Oh, yeah.
And how many do you drink a day? I like 3 big gulps. Like,
Remember we
all
talked
right.
about that town in Mexico, or like all of Mexico? They drink gallons of
Yeah,
Coca-Cola, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mexico's got a Coke problem, bro.
they really do.
We've been saying this.
And there's a
Dude.
place in the south where it's Mountain Dew. Do you drink Mountain Dew? Is that
Nope.
still a thing?
No,
It's still a
not
thing,
really.
but I don't really. The only time I ever enjoy a Mountain Dew product is the Baja Blast at
yeah,
Taco
that's
Bell.
what I was gonna say. Taco Bell.
But I don't ever remember just cracking open a can of Mountain Dew in my youth,
I think Taco Bell has kept Mountain Dew alive.
for sure.
I
That
don't
was a
think
good
anyone
move.
drinks it like that, unless you're in whatever part of you're.
I just
talking
remember
about.
potheads used to drink it after smoking pot because it like made your mouth like less sweatery. That's the word we used.
Yeah.
Not that I know. but-
Yeah, ours is more offensive. We called it cotton mouth.
Yeah. Okay, we said
Yeah.
sweatery cotton. Must
You sweatery is a lot nicer. I feel like you know.
Sweatery is good.
All right, back to space and science. What about? Did you guys growing up? Did you have space camp or?
Bro, I saw
could
the,
never
I would see
afford
the
any of that
commercials. I
shit.
always wanted to go, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I could never afford it either. But it looks so sick.
Yeah,
Space
Also,
camp.
my mom would spend money on anything but like academic shit.
education.
Yeah.
That's
She's
awesome.
like, I'm not fucking paying for you to go to that. I'm like, all right, cool. Well,
Space camp because it came on like right after cartoons.
Mhm.
Back in my day, like you watch Saturday morning cartoons, and then they put in the ads, you know, to get the kids to harass the parents. Like, I want to go to space camp. You know, nobody ever went.
do
there was
you want
always
to be
one
a
of them.
science guy?
No,
Go to
I know.
space camp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they would like juxtapose it with like astronauts like floating in space, but meanwhile you're just like sitting in a classroom like this.
Learning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, you're just
learning.
paying to go to summer school? That's fucked up.
Oh, I
Fucking
can fly.
thieves.
Or the gyros.
Yeah, the
sphere.
gy- I was gonna say, they did do
that
that.
was that was always
They did
really
do that.
cool.
You got
the
to do. Yeah.
gyroscope.
I thought space camp would have. I would go to space camp right now.
Yeah,
space
same.
camp. If you see this, send us. Let's do it.
I think
Let's get
that-
a brand deal.
I think that they like waste that on kids.
Would-
Like I think an
100%.
adult like 30 years old and up would appreciate space camp way fucking more than some kid, dude.
Can you imagine if somebody came up to us right now and was like, hey, do you want to go into the Boy Scouts and like go camping and drink in the woods? I'd be like, let's
sign me the fuck up. How many cookies do I gotta sell?
That's a thing now. I've been getting ads for like it's like adult summer camp, where like you can go to like an actual summer camp for a weekend after the kids leave in August. It's like they do it in weekends in September. And I never went to like sleepaway camp growing up, but it looks sick, dude. There's like they have the big rope swing. They have like all the sports you can play. They have all the game. I'm like, this rocks,
dude. And then if you hook up with a camp counselor at that age, like, it's legal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's okay. It's
the
part
camp
of the
counselors
experience.
are like 70. They're like, all right, who's ready for some freeze tag?
They're still too old for you.
Yeah. Look, I don't date campers. They age camp.
I think we're on to something. This is
We
that.
got it.
Imagine that. And like the commercials, like a dude just like passed out next to the lake, like beer cans all around him, and it's like really sweet music, like
dude.
Butterflies in the sky.
Sick. I want to go down a lake, get a brain-eating amoeba with the boys this summer. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Dude just drinking a fifth of Jack, shooting that like clay pigeon.
Pull.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. I could fuck with adult summer camp. Dude.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, do you want to take a walk? They go off in the woods and they just burn one.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Capture the flag.
Oh, this plant will mess me up. Yeah, give me that.
Foraging for magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
You swag, dude.
He's got the pig. The pig
To find it, yeah.
That is hilarious.
Awesome. Oh my god! And if you die, you're happy.
That's it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, just throw me in the lake and keep partying, dude.
Let the kids find me next summer.
Where's
know?
Max? There. You just see like
Somewhere around
bubbles
here.
coming to the surface.
And then the kids come back. Now I'm Jason.
Yeah, I know. Now you're Jason Voorhees.
Now I'm Jason Voorhees. Pretty sick. So that'd be a cool career move for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Supernatural serial killer. I'd do it.
You're just like a typecast though for the rest of your life.
Space camp.
Trying to do stand up. I'm like, y'all never be killing someone. And
And no matter how fast they run, you all just catch up to them.
yeah, you just teleport right there.
You just gotta walk.
That's
Gotcha.
speaking on that topic. That is the greatest Jason. Jason in space.
Oh yeah, Jason
Oh,
X or whatever.
Jason X.
Bro, they did that for even James Bond was in space.
No,
for a
he
little
was,
bit.
you're
From
right.
Moonraker.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
dude.
I love that. The last bastion of a series is
Space.
Space.
We did
What?
everything else, bro.
Didn't Leprechaun go to space?
I know he went to
That's
the hood.
hilarious,
All right,
though.
Leprechaun on the Hood. By far one of the funniest.
That's probably like our
Great.
fifth reference to that
Yeah.
movie on this show, dude.
Remember he takes the pipe
Yeah.
and he's like, but it's weed, and he's like, this is interesting tobacco.
He already knew.
Yeah,
He knew. I think the leprechaun knew.
Oh man.
But yeah, the last bastion of anything is when they go to space. All right, we got to hit it. Aliens, Max. Where are we? What are we doing?
Oh yeah, 100% they're out there.
Right?
You gotta be.
I think so.
If it's infinity, come on. I remember growing up, the thing they always say, it's like, well, we haven't found water anywhere. I'm like, bro, how do you know that they even are made of water? What if they're made of something else?
Right, yeah,
You
because
know?
we're using our own.
But yeah, I don't know if
Bodies.
if it's like on the scale that some people think, where it's like they're among us today. But I think they got to be out there in some form.
I think somewhere, you know, fools
Remember-
just be minding their own fucking business somewhere.
I
Not
remember.
even knowing we exist.
Was it a year ago? The family in Vegas. They were like, "There's 10-foot aliens in our backyard," and like the government came. They took all like the ring footage. They took everything. So like, you don't remember this?
No shit. No.
Or the Miami shopping mall? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah,
this?
what was up with that?
The shopping mall.
It was
thing,
1,000 cop cars that showed up to the mall. And they're like, nah, it was just a false alarm.
Nothing.
Nah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think motherfuckers were trying to shoplift. And
No,
they're like- and then they're just like, aliens. I don't know what happened. They just showed up and all the shit just disappeared.
I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, the Pentagon just quietly was like, "Oh yeah, UFOs are real. We don't know what they are." Okay, and then they were just like, "What?" They're like, "No more questions." But yeah, that was nuts too.
Not that I trust the government at all, but it's remarkable what they go 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're like, there's something out there, but you don't need to know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with this one?
Thanks, mom.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad parenting.
Well, when you're old enough, we'll tell you, but just right now, it ain't to be talked about.
Yeah.
But I think there's no doubt in my mind, just with the airline pilots. reporting stuff,
Mhm.
and they're like, we can't. We did for decades. They've been saying like little hints once they retire, because if you say I saw suspicious craft, they fire you.
Yeah.
You lose your job right away. So they were always told like, even if you see something, don't say anything.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then
I would imagine that like some random fuck on like Spirit Airlines has probably seen some shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you're in the sky all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're up there for 12, 13 hours. What else are you supposed to do but look out the window?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, facts.
You know?
Facts.
Yeah, of course, you would see the alien on the Spirit flight. You're like, damn, this seat doesn't even recline. Now there's aliens outside. This sucks.
Facts. They would abduct a Spirit Airlines plane.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's looking for that plane.
I've
dude.
seen Miscongeniality 3 times now. It stinks.
Last Holiday with Queen Latifah.
Oh my god, that's such a good one.
I'm gonna die.
No, there's definitely something out there. There's definitely, I mean, you know, as a Christian, I try to avoid the subject, but there's something.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I think that there's room for aliens in Christianity, bro.
I think you're right, man.
Like, you know, let's say like God, right? He's like infinite, right? Is beyond infinity, creates us, and has the space to do so much more. Like for me, when I'm done with a project, I'm like, what's the next
I
project?
know. That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, God's grinding for sure.
He's
dude.
hustling and grinding,
He's
bro.
like,
I
yeah, let me
think
see what
so.
else. It'd be so funny if aliens do come to Earth one day and they're just like, "Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?"
That'd be
Dude, that'd be
awesome.
fire.
That'd be
I would
awesome.
fuck with that, dude. That'd be
awesome.
sick.
No, on terms of the aliens though, but they say there's the gray alien, the green alien, the
Yeah.
lizard person alien, and stuff like that.
Hey, how come there's no black aliens, man? That's fucked up.
Didn't you
That's racist.
remember the show we did? And you said the alien created white people to torture the black people. Remember you telling me that? It
I
was
don't know what you're
I don't
talking
know. We'll
about.
look it up, but yeah, it was like
Oh, are you talking about Yakubians?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like a thing.
The 5%ers, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a.
No, it wasn't an alien, bro. It was a
Oh.
mad scientist
Oh,
Yes, that's what it
okay,
was.
okay.
who invented white people.
Easy to confuse the two. Yeah. But okay, on aliens, do you have anything else, Max? Anything else, Lou?
No, that was it. I mean, it kind of. Yeah, I think they're definitely out there. I don't know if they exist in how people think they do. I don't think they exist in how they do in movies, but I feel like they would probably be something more, you know, like ethereal or like energy or I don't know. But
Well, I'd be remiss if we didn't pull this thread a little bit more. Favorite alien movie?
Dude, I was just about to ask that
Ooh.
question.
And there's some goats out there.
Look, dude, I'm gonna have to say, well, because all right, so I would say 2001, but that's more AI than it is aliens.
Sure.
There's aliens involved, but it's not alien
That's
movie.
with Hal, right?
Yeah, I just saw this recently, and I got high for the first time in months,
Damn.
almost like a year, and I was having a fucking panic attack. But my friend had Arrival on.
ooh, Arrival's crazy.
I think that's
a
the best
crazy
alien movie, bro.
bro.
That
that
one's
was awesome.
sick.
That's with the girl that can like talk.
Yeah, to the
yeah,
aliens.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's like an English teacher. I love that they just got like some random English teacher. Like, hey, with some aliens just came. Like, we need your help to teach them English
We need to teach them how to write a 5-paragraph essay.
in MLA format.
Yeah.
She's from Gerald Ford Elementary School. She's a professional.
That movie rocked. I think mine, growing up as a kid, it was definitely Mars Attacks. Mars
Oh,
Attacks was
that's a good
so fun. I can't remember it, but it's came out the same time as Arrival. I think it has Natalie Portman in it,
And Jack Nicholson.
but it's the one where they like go and explore. It's kind of in like the Louisiana bayous. Man, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was so cool. But it came out the same time as Arrival. I don't know if
No
anybody-
shit. All right, I'll have to check that out. Did you? I don't know if like what year you moved here, but did you ever go to the Fry's in Burbank?
No.
The Fry's Electronics. They had it was Mars Attacks theme,
Whoa, that's sick.
and they had the UFO in the front of the building.
Damn, that's awesome.
And if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, it was in No Way, or what's that Jordan Peele movie? Nope.
Oh, nope. Yeah.
Yeah. I said the white guy version of that movie. No way, Jose. It was in the movie Nope. It's the
Damn,
fucking alien crashed into the Fry's.
Oh, perfect.
I got two. and
Okay.
I can't. This is age gap. You got to give it up to the GOAT, E.T.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on,
that's a good one.
dog.
That is a good one, dude.
That brought the alien. Like he was a good guy. The government's trying to kill. They might have predicted the future with that one.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I always think of like aliens. Like if they do show up, I think that they would probably just be pretty chill.
Yeah. Or,
Everyone's always freaking out. I'm like,
Yeah.
ask a question. I don't know.
Just hang out with them.
Just vibe out, bro.
Yeah. Throw on an album and just, I don't know, kick back.
Put on Pink Floyd, dude.
Yeah,
you know
dude.
what I mean? Show them Wizard of Oz.
Get high. Take him to the planetarium. I
There
want to
we
touch on the
go.
planetarium a little bit. But yeah, E.T. He also owns the worst Atari video game of all time.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a video game guy, but yeah, it was awful. But
Which one?
Atari.
The ET
You
game.
probably never.
Oh,
played
the
it.
ET had a game.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
like, apparently the story is they dumped a bunch of the unsold cartridges in the middle of the desert and buried them because they just like didn't sell anywhere near
No
enough.
fucking way.
Yeah.
In Area 51. That'd be hilarious.
That's where it
That
is.
would be ironic.
All the extraterrestrials are in Area 51. It's just a bunch of ET, video
yeah,
games.
buried out
They-
there.
Yeah.
They rushed production of the game to get it out for Christmas, and it was just like,
And it was ass.
yeah, it was just terrible. But yeah, I will be so happy if either one of you know this movie, Enemy Mine.
No.
No. Explain it.
Louis Gossett Jr. and I forget the guy's name. Bridges,
Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, I believe.
Mm.
They hate each other, right? But they're on this planet together, and they end up,
Working it out.
working it out, but
Nice.
because there's a mutual enemy or something like
It's an
that.
alien.
Yeah, and then it turns out the twist at the end. Nobody's gonna watch it. It did trash in the theater, but Louis Gossett Jr.'s character is actually pregnant. So before this whole men can get pregnant movement,
Yeah.
Enemy Mine in the 1980s,
They called it.
They
called it.
And
That's
he's
what's
nailing
up.
like his face is all different and stuff like that. So yeah,
That's what's up.
it's good. I recommend it.
Also, Men in Black was pretty fire.
Oh.
Men in Black rocks.
Oh. Dude, yes.
Yeah.
That was a great fucking movie. I actually just watched it again recently because I was working at this sushi spot for a while and I would always just put on the movie channel
Yeah.
and no volume, So I'm just watching Men in Black with like
Captions, or are you just imagining it?
just visuals and
Yeah.
then Sabrina Carpenter in the background.
Just
playing and
espresso
shit.
on
Yeah, dude.
while he shoots Tony Shalhoub's head off over and over again.
Yeah,
Sick.
my friend was like the manager there, and he just has like a teenage girl's music taste.
Oh my
so it's
God.
just like pop music, and then Tony Shalhoub get his fucking head blown off,
Yeah, dude.
and then I came home, I was like, we gotta watch this.
That
Bro.
movie rocks. I
Yeah.
saw that in theaters with my dad. I was like 5 years old, and I loved it so much. And at the time, they had the Men in Black toys at Burger King.
Oh,
Sweet.
And
hell yeah.
the one toy I wanted was the Neuralizer, the memory eraser thing.
Oh yeah.
And so for like the next week that summer, I was like, Dad, can we go to Burger King again? I didn't get the toy I wanted. And I was like, okay.
Nice. We got
It was
Burger
sick.
King at
I
home.
got it eventually. It was dope, dude.
You probably could have just asked the 16-year-old cashier, "Hey, can I just get the Neuralizer? Like
Yeah,
my kid wants
right.
this." Like, "Oh yeah, I'll find you
You
one."
just give me the good one.
Yeah.
I want the good toy.
It was sick.
Yeah, no, that's a great fucking movie. The second one was okay too.
The second one was okay. I didn't see the third one or like the future one they
You don't
did,
need
but
to.
yeah, the first one to me is absolutely classic.
Yeah.
So good.
Will Smith slaps the head off Chris Rock in the third one.
That's good.
Keep
That's
my
good.
galaxy's name.
That was good. Took me a second, bro.
I love that scene in Men in Black when he like shoots the little girl with the textbooks on the
Oh.
drill.
Yep.
And he's like, why does she have these books? It is way too late, And the aliens hanging from the street light. He's like, I'm not going to shoot him. He's just getting a workout in. So
Mhm.
good.
That
Yeah.
is good. That
Movie
is good
rocks.
writing. On the subject of
Alien profiling.
fantasy and fiction, Max, moon landing, fact, fiction.
Ooh.
I think it's for sure a fact. And the one thing I think on that is if we hadn't done it, the Russians would have been like, they did not actually do that. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I like to hold on to it. I think we did do it because it's such a flex. You know what I mean?
I think personally that we did it, but that's not what we saw. I think we
Interesting.
got to the moon
Interesting. That's a
and we
good
were
take.
like, this is something's up here. And then they're just like, all right, roll the MTV footage. You know, the guy planting the flag. I think that that's what happened. I think that if I had to guess, I would say that we got there a little bit later than we said we did, but we eventually got there. Still before the Russians, but we had to gaslight them a little bit.
Well, we're the only ones that technically went there, right? The Russians never went to the moon.
That we know of.
Yeah.
According to Transformers 3, they did. So
yeah.
I don't know. I'll take the latter side. I think it's Hollywood, Rue. It just why is there a camera out there while he's taking the first steps in 1969?
Well, someone had a camera, definitely.
But cameras back then were the size of, a
Big as
Ford.
shit, huh? Yeah.
How do they have the footage out there?
You know what pisses me off? Like to think like that there was one guy that just didn't get any credit. Like he went to the moon too, and then never even got to get off the ship.
yeah, he was just in the ship, like orbiting it. Yeah.
Well, isn't that
that's
Buzz
fucking
Aldrin?
annoying.
He was the second guy. Nobody remembers
Yeah, no
him.
one gives a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then who was it? John Glenn, right?
Yeah.
He was the first guy. They're like, hey, was it real? Was it real? And he like gets all defensive and like,
I thought it was Armstrong.
It was Armstrong. Yeah.
it was Neil Armstrong.
It was
John Glenn was the
Louis
first guy.
Armstrong. He was
Louis
playing the
Armstrong.
trumpet on the moon.
The first bebop jazz solo on the moon.
Yeah.
That's one small Scooby Dooby for man. That'd be sick, dude.
In the footage, he raises the visor and just starts playing. I was like, oh god. No,
That'd
just
be
the whole
sick.
thing looks BS, man. It's just I don't know. It looks
Apparently, bro, here's another conspiracy I heard. That if you go on NASA, like their live streams from like space explorations, a lot of times it's just like underwater. Like,
I see
like
what
they
you're
have
saying,
like
yeah.
they're like, oh, this is the Hubble telescope, and then you just see like a guy just like like
Yeah.
bubbles coming out of
I've
his
seen
mask.
that. Yeah. Who was the Stanley Kubrick was allegedly directed it.
Oh, the moon landing.
The moon landing, yeah.
That'd be fire, bro.
Remember we talked
That's
about
probably like would be his best directorial.
I think it would have been way better if Stanley Kubrick directed.
Yeah,
it, though,
facts.
You know what I mean?
Well, the I'm a big, you know me, Lou.
Yeah.
I go down that YouTube rabbit hole. And the conspiracy is in the movie The Shining, he was giving away secrets that he directed the moon landing.
Ah,
Interesting.
Like what? Like what?
Well, first of all, the character Danny, ran round.
Mm-hmm.
He has the rocket ship sweater,
yeah.
or pajamas or something. It says USA.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that iconic rug pattern on the floor? That's the exact pattern of the launch pad.
Ooh,
Oh.
interesting.
Of the wrong,
Whoa. Okay.
So in Kubrick, he had a weird thing. Remember, he died shortly after Eyes Wide Shut,
Mm-hmm.
and there was all that missing footage and all that stuff. And he was trying to basically say the Rothschilds are into this secret society.
Weirdo
or
shit.
they-
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a lot of free time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's
Kubrick
awesome.
is, yeah. I think if he actually did direct the moon landing, it would have been way more cinematic. You know what I mean? Like there would have been he would have landed, then he would have went crazy, and he would have tried to kill the other guys on.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
if he directed the moon landing, it would have been like 6 hours.
Yeah, it would have been like an all-time classic for sure.
Kubrick did Space Odyssey, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Star Wars too.
Before Star Wars.
Killed
There's
that.
something there.
Killed
There's
that
something
shit.
there. Look, to quote Eddie Bravo, look into it. Look into it.
When you're quoting Eddie Bravo, that's how you know, dog. It's like maybe it's not real. Maybe it's not real. That's fucking hilarious.
Lou, you got anything? Oh, we could do TV shows, or we could do Area 51.
I have a question. The Twilight Zone, was that supposed to be like in space, or what the fuck was
Some
that all
episodes.
Some episodes happened
yeah.
in space. Some happened inside your own mind.
about?
The Twilight Zone.
I loved the ride, the Tower of Terror at Disney. You guys been on it?
No.
Oh
Yeah,
my
of
god,
course.
dude! The one out here they changed to make Guardians, but the one in Florida is still the same. But to me, that was like the coolest ride. But yeah, sometimes they did like a Twilight Zone episode where they're in space or a guy crashed somewhere. But some of the other ones are just like normal everyday
Dude.
things.
Some of my favorites were the space ones. Like, remember the guy, he crashes somewhere or he lands somewhere and then he thinks he's on Mars, and then turns out he's just like in the fucking desert,
Yeah.
like by Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's a
That's the one
fucking
I was
good
gonna
one.
say.
Yeah.
The other one too is remember they use like a remote planet as like a jail,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy's there by himself, and he's like losing his mind, and then they bring him like a robot woman.
Oh
And
yeah,
he like
yeah,
falls in love. And it's like that's happening now.
yeah. Right.
It's happening now.
The Twilight Zone. I can't believe like I was writing this stuff in the 50s. Like, because it's so funny when you think of 50s TV. It's like, Leave It to Beaver. And like all the, and then it's like the most weird, demented, like mind bending
I'm
show
gonna
of all
fuck
time.
with your mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an existential crisis from your own living room.
You're just like, all right, let's do it. Eisenhower's in office. This is
Yeah.
sick.
My theory on that, Max, is the writing back then was so much better because there was so many less distractions.
Yeah.
There was no internet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
There was. Can we say that word?
Oh, porn?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can
know.
say porn.
You always censor me at some point, like
Dude,
you always.
There's okay. Well, when you're saying, and I'm gonna censor this, when you're saying like fucking, and then he got raped by this guy, then I'm gonna be like, all right, chill, bro.
All right, he got diddied. Can I say
Okay,
that?
you can say he got diddied, bro. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't know this modern era, Max. You know, when you're live, you know, when you got the mic in your hand, you're on the live shows. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, true,
you know?
true,
It's
true.
but this internet generation. But anyway, yeah, it's amazing they were doing this right. Like Ray Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said Brad Pitt.
No,
I was
no,
like, come
I
on.
know.
I just said, don't say that. Say Diddy.
He's an actual guy, Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
The illustrated man. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they were coming up with this out of the mind. Isaac Asimov.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh, the Cascade.
L. Ron Hubbard. How can we not talk about science and space without L. Ron Hubbard?
Yeah.
Scientology.
That's the best sci-fi.
What about those fools?
Don't sue me.
Do you remember what was it called? Oh my god, the guy they committed suicide was that weird cult.
Oh, the Heaven's Gate cult?
Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't know about that. What's this?
Bro, from the 90s. The Heaven's Gate cult was like this cult that believed that an asteroid was going to come by Earth, and if they all killed themselves at the same time, the asteroid would take their spirits to like heaven or something. And the way they went out was kind of hard because they all had on like matching black Nike Cortezes.
Get the fuck out.
And so when like the
Did
police...
they have hairnets?
No, they had masks on.
They had, yeah, but they were all like covered in these blankets, but they all had like the black Nikes sticking out of the blankets. So
That's
I was like,
fire.
at least they're fresh as hell in the afterlife.
Yeah,
dude.
facts.
Yeah.
Firme, fool.
This is
Yeah.
hilarious. I was probably a teenager when that happened.
I was in there.
But somebody made a T-shirt, and it was just like Max described. It was a body with the black cape over it, and the Cortezes sticking out, and it said, "Just do it."
No,
That's kinda
good.
hard.
That's good.
I would wear that, bro.
Yeah.
If you go to L.A., the Museum of Death, they have a whole exhibit.
Really?
about it. Yeah.
Whoa.
They got like the
That's pretty sick.
actual like yeah.
That's dope.
But yeah, it was like Max said, like either a spaceship or an asteroid was going to take them, and they castrated themselves.
That
Oh,
I
I
can't
didn't know
get.
that.
That I can get back.
Yeah, guys. Now this was fun, but
I think we're gonna go.
Guys, good news, bad news. Good news, we all have new sneakers. Bad news. Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it. And the other thing too is they weren't like people of like dumb backgrounds. They were like professors,
Interesting.
science.
That makes it even cooler.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it was just like wow.
if you could convince smart people to kill themselves, like that's you're.
You got Riz. Dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
You got
straight
swag,
up,
bro.
Straight up, bro.
Crazy.
And their leader's name was Doe. He went by Doe.
Ugh.
I would not trust that.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
trust that
don't
either.
You
Right here in
look,
California.
if you're gonna like try to convince me to kill myself, bro, like you gotta have a dope name.
Yeah.
You know, can't be like Doe. It's gotta be like Rocky or some shit. You know what I mean?
DJ.
Yeah, bro, that's a
Yeah,
dope
I would
name.
clap myself for someone named DJ. You know?
But yeah, that was that. There's so much weird stuff, man. Do you remember the X-Files?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just watched season 1 like last year. It's pretty fun.
What was the tagline? It's out there.
I want
It's
to
out there.
believe. Oh, oh,
The
yeah.
truth is out there.
The truth is
and then
out
I Want to Believe was the poster he had in his wall.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
Oh wow, man! Alien Nation. You
That
guys-
show's funny because I've only seen season 1, but that show's funny because by like episode 18, they've encountered like 9 different undisputable like situations of supernatural ability. And so like every time at the end of the episode, he's just like, "Do you believe now, Scully?" And she's like, "I don't know, Mulder. What am I going to say in the paperwork?" And I'm like, "You just watched a dead body float 20 feet in the air and shoot lightning out of its face. Like, I don't write that down." Scully, I'm looking for my sister. It's so good. I love that show.
I was never into that show because it was just so popular. But she was like the disbeliever, and he was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
He was the guy who the FBI was like, this guy's a rogue, but we still have him for some reason. We still keep letting him do investigations, but damn it, he's on a thin leash, you know?
Yeah. Only one more chance.
It's great. It's a good
12
time.
seasons later, he's
Yeah, just one more chance. Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's funny.
Man.
All right, Lou, you got anything else? We're about time.
I think this has been a real alien heavy episode.
We bounced around for sure.
did.
I have one last alien.
All right.
Well, I guess two. The first one is The Encounter of the Third Kind. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, Close
Hell
Encounters?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever saw that one.
Bro, that was the scariest shit. So that's when they discovered the Blair Witch kind of format, like works.
Interesting. Okay.
So it was like found
Yeah.
footage. I thought that shit was real, dog. I was
Mhm.
fucking afraid for a day or two.
You're
And
talking
then
about the Richard Dreyfuss movie?
No, I think he's talking about. I know what you're talking about,
Close Encounters of the Third Kind or some shit.
but that's like a. I think there's. Yeah. I
So
know-
there's some chick, right, that she they kind of like double Inception the movie. So they had a recreation with Mila Jovovich
Mhm.
of like quote unquote real therapy sessions with people that saw aliens.
Interesting.
And then they filmed real therapy sessions of people that saw aliens. So it made you believe that it was real because they were reenacting something, but the reenactment that they were doing was of a reenactment. Like
Yeah.
someone wrote it.
Oh, okay.
And that was like the scariest shit.
I'll have to check it out. The one I was thinking of was the Richard Dreyfuss, Steven Spielberg, Close Encounters of the.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
I think I think maybe that was like a remake then or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. They did.
Possibly.
There was a found footage. It's like Apollo 15 or something. Did you ever see that one?
Mm-mm.
Where it's like a found
Oh,
footage
yeah, I've
movie where
heard
they
of
go
it.
to the moon and then like the rocks, like people, like weird stuff starts happening and it's like, oh my god, there's clearly aliens. And then you just find out that like the rocks grow legs and are like little bugs. And I was
I
like,
saw
oh,
that.
okay. I was like, it was
That's
for the
sucks.
first 40 minutes, you were like, this is sick. And then you find out it's just rock bugs. You're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if we ever do find aliens, it's gonna be something underwhelming.
Yeah,
like
little
that.
rock bugs,
Yeah.
little squirrels or something.
Yeah.
We have to do an episode on cryptids and like all this, like, you know,
Oh,
Bigfoot,
cryptids would be sick.
Loch Ness and stuff.
Oh yeah.
If I can give our listeners one movie recommendation, maybe you fellas saw this, Interstellar.
Oh yeah, that movie's great.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh,
yet.
bro.
Awesome movie. Matthew McConaughey.
We gotta go back
Yeah.
to space.
I just see the meme of him like, I guess seeing himself or something. He's like,
Yeah.
no.
He's like, no. Yeah.
and it's always like something regrettable. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
me
yeah.
not
No, that
buying
movie's
Bitcoin.
awesome. That movie's great. You should, if someone who likes to get high and watch movies, you should get high and watch that movie.
I don't know, man. The last time I got high, bro, I was like gonna pass out. I hit the joint like 3 times. I kind of like, I took it easy even,
Yeah.
you know, because I was like, the last time I did this, I smoked like I normally could, and then I fucking freaked out. So let me just hit this 3 times. And then I was just like, dude, I had to focus on I literally turned to my friend. I'm like, hey, dude, I need to lay down for a little bit. And he was like, oh shit, my bad, bro. I didn't know it was like
just
that. And I'm
get
like,
high
"Yeah."
off life and watch it, man.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's already intoxicating enough.
Yeah, for real. All right.
Murph.
I love that. Yeah, the movie's great.
All right. I think we're at time.
Yep.
Max, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where we can find you,
Nice.
plug your IG and all that.
What's up? I'm Max. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. Great little town. Go to the Coffee Cup. They have the best grits if you're ever there. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Big Time Maca, BigTimemaca. I just put out a comedy rap album on all streaming platforms called Big
Hey.
Time Album.
There you go.
It's got some hits, and I put out a music video called Bed by 9 last year that just got into the Berlin Music Video Awards. So
Hell yeah.
going to Germany in June to be like, hello everyone, thank you for liking my video. But yeah, that's it. Go
I'd
follow
probably
me.
get mad if you did that.
No, I would just be like World War II champions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would just
Yeah,
flex
back
on
to
them a little
back.
bit. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was fun. I love
course.
talking about you. You guys are a good time, and This is great. I didn't
Awesome.
expect to talk so much about cool alien existential stuff today.
Yeah. This is
a
what
good
we
time.
do, man. Anyways, if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you want to see the full videos, you can catch them on YouTube at Age Gap Podcast. If you want to see shorter, faster, funnier versions of this show, you can catch the clips on Instagram and TikTok at agegap.pod. I want to give a shout out to our small business sponsors. So thank you, Founder Space, for letting us use this space always. You guys are great. Alex over at King's Burger.
King's Burger, Woodbury,
Breakfast and burger.
Altadena.
Yes, sir. Kevin, your favorite dish?
Oh, the pastrami Swiss, pickles, and mustard.
Hell yeah. And my favorite is the breakfast burrito with al pastor.
Ooh,
You know, it's pretty nice. I've never had that in a breakfast burrito. It's pretty fire. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. And then Kevin, as always, if you like the song that's playing right now,
Johnny
Johnny
Narco
Narco made it.
Thank you guys so much.
Peace.
Nice.
How'd you feel?
That was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun.